We've been sold this idea that privacy is a necessity. Privacy is not a necessity. It's a luxury. That's how we have to shift our mindset is to what am I getting because I'm giving up that privacy? And also, is me giving up that privacy significantly changing my life? And one of the things that I considered was privacy. I gave up privacy to live for free. But there's a lot of people out there that aren't willing to do that. And that's the problem. Today, I want to talk about the 3 reasons why privacy is keeping you broke. That's right. Privacy is keeping you broke. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let YouTube algorithm know that I'm doing a good job and that they need to push out my content to more people. So let's get right into it. The number 1 reason why privacy is keeping you broke is because we've been sold this idea that privacy is a necessity. Privacy is not a necessity. It's a luxury. And when you start thinking about it like that and change the way of thinking, it'll shift your mind frame. It'll shift your mindset about how you look at privacy, right? We don't have to have privacy. What are some of the reasons that you actually want to have privacy? Really think about some of those things. Is it not actually a luxury to have privacy? Everybody doesn't have privacy. It is something that it's an advanced state of life that people can get to when they can actually afford it. And I know most people don't want to think about it like that, but that's the way I look at it. The more money that you have, the more privacy you can afford. The less money you have, the least amount of privacy you can afford. If you take, for example, some of the wealthiest people in the world, they're living on these large plantation-like houses that are far off from the road. You have to drive down this long road to get to their place. And they pay millions of dollars because they want privacy. But guess what? They have the money to afford that privacy. Early in your career or early in your life, you should not pay extra money for privacy. It's a luxury that you don't have to have. It's a luxury that you could do without of. If you change your mindset and shift away from thinking that you have to pay to have privacy early on, your money and your whole life and everything that you're trying to do can go much further. The second reason is privacy doesn't pay, but sacrificing privacy can actually pay. Think about that. You don't make any more money by having more privacy, but you could save and or make more money if you actually have less privacy. I talk about this a lot in my duplex strategy. With my duplex that I have, even though I'm living in an entire unit by myself, there is still an element of less privacy. You know, I share a driveway with some people, right? There's other shared spaces in the yard that I have. Now, I can change some of those things by maybe putting up a fence or something, but there's a shared aspect. We're sharing a building. You know, I have to see them come home sometimes. They have to see me come home sometimes. So there's an element of not having full privacy. But guess what I'm getting for that? And that's how we have to shift our mindset is to what am I getting because I'm giving up that privacy? And also, is me giving up that privacy significantly changing my life? The majority of the time, I don't even think about the person that's next door. Now, in my situation, I do short-term rentals next door. So I don't have the same person there all the time. I actually have different people there all of the time, but I never think about them and they don't think about me. So while I'm in a situation where they're paying pretty much all of my bills, I have a little bit less privacy, but does it actually hurt me in the grand scheme of things? We have to shift our mindset. The third thing is privacy is just a social construct. It's something that this is a modern day idea that we need to have privacy. If you think about how our ancestors built wealth, they built wealth together. Families stayed together for long periods of times. There's actually certain cultures nowadays who actually still use this formula to build wealth. I am not a part of one of those cultures, but there are cultures that actually still do that to this day. The reason why they do it is because it works. When you pool your resources together, you can move further faster. You don't have to have this mindset that you have to have everything to yourself. We're already in a mindset as American citizens of overconsumption. We are already taking in more than we actually need. We're throwing away things. I was going through my closet the other day and it just disgusted me. I was just like, man, I have so much clothes that I don't even wear. I don't need all this space. My wife has a whole bunch of stuff that she doesn't even wear. We don't need all the space, but we have overconsumption. And that is the idea that has put us to the point where we feel like when we need more space in our own space is because of overconsumption. If we stop overconsuming so much stuff, then you won't feel like you need so much privacy because you don't have a lot of stuff that you need to keep away from other people. So change your mindset, shift that mindset for thinking that you have to have so much stuff to saying that you have to have much less stuff. And the last piece about this is, what can it do for your life to give up your privacy? Think about that. You're in a situation right now. A lot of folks are in a situation right now where they're basically struggling to pay basic necessity bills. I see videos on YouTube every day about how people can't pay, their living expenses. I'm talking about basic living expenses. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about electricity. I'm talking about their car payments. I'm talking about all of this stuff. People can't pay their basic necessities. But how many of those people are actually thinking about how much of that stuff do I actually need? Now, yes, you can go out here and complain about inflation and how inflation is out of control. And I agree, inflation is 100% out of control. But guess what? There isn't any president or any congressman that is going to change that. They're not going to save you. You have to save yourself. So your mindset can't be to continuously get out here and complain about the situation of the economy. You have to make changes that's within the economy to be able to survive, right? Maybe you don't have to have two cars in your situation, right? If you're a couple, do you really need two cars? Can you get rid of one of the cars? Can you sell one of the cars, right? A lot of times having two cars ends up being a convenience. It's not a necessity. It's something that you can actually consider, right? And one of the things that I considered was privacy. I gave up privacy to live for free. But there's a lot of people out there that aren't willing to do that. And that's the problem. So quit complaining about all the things that are going on and look at some of the things that you can actually do to make your life better. And privacy should be the first thing to go. If you have some thoughts about this, drop it in the comments. And as always, keep running those plays. Peace.